Dun 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 dun. Hey everybody, it's True Powers Mine, and this is TPIM. That's our live, y'all. I'm so grateful to be able to broadcast from our Missouri studio yet again. And today's date is October 11th, 2019, the year of our Lord. Today's topic, the culture of death, y'all. Once again, thank you for to all the confidential informants. You know, I so blessed to have all you guys send me all this information. I want you guys to understand that I'm not here to berate Bill Gates or belittle the man. I'm just merely here to bring you guys information. Just merely here to bring you guys a different narrative than the corporate spin. Let's start off because I'm going to show you guys. Brother Marty, peace and power. Welcome to the show. I'm going to show everybody just where all of this comes together. Brown, welcome to the show. Brother Frederick, peace and power. Love, unity, victory for all. Let's start.
You see technology going. People are worried about artificial intelligence. I mean, Professor Stephen Hawking has said it's the end of humanity.
It's the end of freedom, for sure. For many of us, freedom was never really truly ascertained to begin with, so it's not much of a leap. But for the greater society, downgrading to just the level that we are today would be a major wake-up call. Major wake-up call. And he's playing an intricate part of this. Peace and power to you, Sister Kathy. Welcome to the show.
Are you worried that in 30 years' time, we'll be looking back at this moment and saying, we didn't do it?
Yo, Brother Leonard. Peace and power. Look at the culture of death right here. Look at the fake. Hold on, let me grab this visual aid device. Yes, it's a spoon. Look at this guy. Look at how wrinkly and crinkly he is. And we're going to show some pictures of him back when in its little heyday. But this is the man who juices up brothers and sisters in Kemet on the regular. Let that sink in. Let that truly sink in. Because when there's an Asian feller that basically picks up his mantle and he starts injecting kids in Europe and he starts injecting kids in the United States, Western Hemisphere, then you'll understand what I mean by eugenics is only from your point of view. From his point of view, his genetic traits are undesirable. So therefore, he should be exterminated. Oh, what goes around, kiddos, most certainly comes around. Let's continue.
Enough to protect ourselves.
Well, that's it's not likely in 30 years that we'd be facing anything like that. The fact that
because of the fact he knows that within 30 years, his eugenics programs in Kemet and other places should have taken root, and there should be nobody. Because don't forget what point of view these two dudes are talking from. You have better understand they're talking from a certain point of view, a certain reality that they are experiencing that others are not. Oh, you got it right, Brother Leonard. You got it right. But these are the people that your people and other people who is a part of humanity would idolize. Oh, he's so wealthy, Brother Leonard. He's such a philanthropist. He gives so much. Yes, he gives a lot of death. And we're going to break all this stuff down. Let's continue.
Machines are becoming better. Today it takes 2% of the U.S. population to grow all the food. It does tend to free us up to do other things. And we have so many unmet needs, whether it's taking.
And the studio audience is in full effect. All right. But it's fine. This is just reality. Now, listen, guys and girls. Bill Gates is one of these guys who won't come up to your face and call you the N-word. He's not. He's not going to come up to your face and call you the F word. He's not. But you have better understand that he views you. How should I say this, Sister Barbara? Peace and power and welcome to the show. He views you in a not so favorable light. Can I get away with saying that? I better check with legal.
Taking care of old people, handicapped people, reducing class size, doing better education. And so
you mean better indoctrination. So
what these advances should do is have us say, hey, if labor was free, what great things would we do? And
if labor was free, what great things would they do, Brother Bird? Peace and power. Sister Gloria, peace and power. Welcome to the show. Yes, he is. He is anti-black. You can look at his activities that he does in Kemet, the vaccination programs he endorses, how they actually affect the reproductive processes of third world women. And you can tell that he is most certainly anti-black, brown, yellow, red. If we want to use all the colors of the rainbows, except for black and white, because I'm going to hip you guys to something, and this is an artsy trivia deal. Black and white are not colors. Black and whites are tones. So is gray. Now, orange, yellow, blue, red, violet, purple, green, all these are colors. Now, how many purple or green people do you see running around here? Orange, I've seen one. Very powerful man. Running the second strongest country in the world. Oops, did I say that out loud? Fuck, I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say running these United States of America. Oh my God. I got a letter from confidential informant talking about a major corporation that they had the opportunity to visit the headquarters. And they said it was so devoid, because we talk about spiritual things. This is more of a spiritual resonant question here and answer. He said that the resonance in that building was dead, like all the creativity, all the productivity. And now it's just like a state of status quoism. We got to keep it rolling what we got, because we ain't getting no more. And that really sums up this nation in so many ways, does it not? From Make America Great Again to get the hell out of here, illegal aliens. You're not taking ours, get yours. This at the very base level, very selfish. Well, it manifests in people in very, very different ways. Some people become selfish and they basically become drug users and are ostracized by society and put out. Some people become selfish, basically become super wealthy, and they inflict their will on society. This is what we're dealing with here.
And even then, you can't come up with ideas. Yes, the work week will be shorter. We'll have more leisure time. Eventually, those great things will happen, and I see it as a positive thing.
The tech revolution.
I'm sure he does with all of his billions. He sees this as extremely positive things. He's probably going to tell a boy, if I could get to a point where I can have no workers and all robots, I would be extremely happy. Now, forget the human beings that don't have work or can't ascertain wealth because their people were disenfranchised and disinherited and dispossessed of land, property, and value. Okay. What about those people, Mr. Gates? What are you going to do? Do you have a plan? And I think he does have a plan. A needle and a vaccine. That's the plan for you guys. Let's continue.
To some extent, seems to be one of the agents of this assault on globalization, because the tech revolution brought a globalization into being and certainly helped it enormously. But now there's a sort of alienated, very large...
Wait, hold on. So Christopher Columbus had a computer. Christopher Columbus had access to Google or Apple products. Christopher Columbus even knew what a computer was. because globalization's been happening ever since colonization. Let's stop saying globalization. Let's say the end of colonization, because the person who brought all the so-called continents together was not born last century or the century for that or the century for that, if we are to believe modern history provided to many of us. See, as you see these two individuals double speak on terms and words, at the very end, folks, and this is a little bit of a spoiler, but at the very end, I want you to hear what he says. It's a Freudian slip, but he really meant what he said, but he corrects it immediately. I want you to hear that. Sister Sandra, peace and power, love, respect, and light, unity and victory, liberation. Welcome to the show.
Large group of you, they elected Donald Trump in large measure. They voted for Brexit in this country. Do you actually see an assault on globalization underway?
Remember, globalization is really colonization, which is really European supremacy.
And the rise of populism, which might set a lot of your work back?
Well, certainly in democratic systems, the pendulum.
Hold on. I'll let him say this full, complete deal.
Do you actually see an assault on globalization underway and the rise of populism, which might set a lot of your work back?
Whoa, might set a lot of his work back. Hold on one second. So we can see what's going on here. Hold on. Bill Gates vaccine wait. Hold on. I have to bring this into play. Hold on. We will. Bill Gates vaccine of death. I just wanted to do something outrageous. Okay. Vaccine delivery, Bill Melinda Foundation. Okay, well, let's look at one of their propaganda videos. Who's this? I don't even think that's Bill Gates. They look like Nelson Mandela and Rockefeller. Infant deaths. Wait. Hold on, I want us to understand what we're seeing. The number of children lives saved since 1990. This was well below the launch of the Bill Gates Foundation in 2000, which progress in global health towards the millennial development goals has largely been measured from that data. Infant deaths have been cut by half since 1990. Okay. What you're really looking at is the overall birth decline in general. Because if you're measuring babies who are being born and not also calculating those babies who were aborted, then you can't have the right answers here. HIV, TB, and we already know the deal with TB. Used to be predominantly in let's just say it, the hood, the poor areas. Now it's working its way into suburbs and more middle class, affluent areas through the weed, through the marijuana that certain people spray their junk with. Just think how many people participated in deadly experiments using street drugs, because the drugs were bought on the streets. But that's a totally different topic. Let's get back here to Bill Gates.
Well, certainly in democratic systems, the pendulum will swing for global trade, for immigration, and swing against it. And that it's a self-correcting system where people are listening to the voters, understanding their concerns.
It seems a big joke.
No, but it overall, the idea that China's getting richer and there's more scientists all over the world, and the fact that.
Hold on, let me break this down. After I greet Brother Wayne, peace and power. This is the brother, y'all, Brother Wayne. It's the brother that pointed me in the right direction to Sister Raynette, and hopefully we'll have her on the show, Black Sunrise, very, very soon. Now, what he's talking about, the rise of China, had zero to do with him in his foundation capacity. Now, maybe he's a part of Bilderberg or a secret organization that helped propped up the king of the East, because China knows how to control their population, whereas the United States apparently doesn't.
If somebody cures cancer, you're not going to worry what country that comes from.
Well, if you billionaires would stop polluting the earth and environment and stop debasing the foods with your GMOs and glyphosate, perhaps we wouldn't have so much cancer to begin with.
Really, really good thing. The fact that there's more rights, that we're thinking more about women.
Yeah, there's the fact that there's more rights for corporations. The fact that we're thinking about women. Like, hold on, like this one right here. Look at the headline. Update. If you guys didn't know, Ellen likes Bush. And we ain't talking about head for the mountain Bush either.
And that, gay people's rights are improved. There is an overall.
Now, you notice he didn't say shit about black folks' rights or privileges. He just glanced over, because in his mind, he knows that we are to be exterminated. Just like when you talk to people and they're like, well, how come the United States not mentioned in the Bible? Because it won't exist in its capacity it is today.
That's dirty.
Right. Go and take that in there. Now let's continue.
All trend. It's not without its wiggles, where people saying, hey, have we gone too far? What about me? And that's okay. Democracy isn't going to give you a straight path in any direction. And so now we should all be looking at, okay, maybe what they're complaining about isn't the right thing, but why are they unhappy at all? What is it that we need to reprioritize on their behalf?
Now, we're just going into an election. I mean, you in your election experienced, we think, Russian interference in some of what was going on. Fake news has made an appearance on the stage on a scale that we never dreamt possible. Are you concerned about fake news? Are you concerned about alien individuals trying to upset people's democratic processes?
Those are things to guard against. I don't think the French election or UK election will be determined by those outside forces, but we should try and make sure that that's not happening in the future. The whole idea of how you run elections and how you rate.
Look how smirkety he is when he's talking about the democratic process, which, by the way, the last time I checked, we live in a republic. This is not a democracy. The United States is a republic, meaning that your rights are guaranteed from the savage masses. But because you guys believe in the Federal Reserve, you believe in money, you also believe in democracy. And democracy is basically two white guys and a black guy voting on who's going to do all the crappy work. I think you can fill in the blanks from there.
Raise money for elections, how you make sure the voting system's working well. It's an area for constant diligence because it plays such a central role in our democratic process.
But you take something like, for example, that there was this flash on the web on various social media sites that Pope Francis had backed President Trump. I mean, in his original run for the presidency. I mean, it absolutely wasn't true, but it became a fact for a time. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, how do you deal with people being able to be so gullible because of our educational system is so indoctrinational instead of actually educational? How do you deal with that, Bill?
Well, people are going to have taste in terms of paying attention to reliable news sources. And the fact.
Now, would you happen to be the guy who can fund reliable news sources, Bill? Would you be the one that people should look towards getting all their information from? Because we know that you and your company has never been involved in any data breaches.
The fact that we're getting a lot of our news off the internet, it's kind of a new thing.
Yeah, it's so new. It's been around since 1994. When Drudge Report started really talking about Monica Lewinsky sitting up there, affiliation or whatever, fuck it, She was giving President Clinton a damn blowjob in the Oval Office. He was sitting up there having sex with this woman while the rest of the country's kind of suffering from a semi-recession. Because, you know, now that I look back at it, we've been in a basic kind of recession, except for a few good years, since about the 80s. Really, I've kind of observed that. Now, a lot of people have gotten extremely rich off of cryptocurrency, and obviously Mr. Bill Gates rises in the same time frame. But I just want to say this to y'all again. For every billionaire out there, there's thousands of dollars out of your personal pocket, because those billions of dollars have to come from somewhere. All right, except for the Federal Reserve.
People get all their news from retail.
That's right. But they get some of it from reliable sources and some from unreliable sources. And
Unreliable sources: CNN, Fox News, Al Jazeera, Sky News, Channel 7 Australia. Unreliable. Reliable sources: let's see, TPIM, that's our live. We All Be Free, Black Sun, Random BS. Let me think. And there's a whole host of others. But those are not being pumped on Pluto TV. Those are not being pumped on Hulu TV. Those are not being pumped on the regular rabbit ears. I don't know what you call it, digital TV nowadays that, you know, you apparently can get for free. You have better understand. In a minute now, little shows like mine have better not have the audacity to, in any way, shape, or form, say that they are relating news. We're going to almost have to go on the strip, or not strip, but strict. Either educational, like this is some sort of seminar that we put together, or some sort of entertainment. This is just a comedy skit. It's all satire. But do your own research and see if these jokes ain't real. Now, see, that's what gets these people upset when you try to advocate true critical thinking, indoctrination. You never heard me sit up here and say, you guys need to be straight up this or straight up that. This is the only way to make it. Because we know that to be a lie. And it's also really about your point of view that you're making that statement from. Now, a lot of people can't get rid of the programming. They worship it. It's a part of their very psyche. They cannot even interpret the world without it. But I'm telling you, that program's only empowering this cat to kill you. That's just the reality, y'all. At this point, it should be very crystal clear what's going on. Let's continue.
I do believe they'll become more sophisticated over time. And we have to hope they'll even look at news that has viewpoints they disagree with. We don't want them off just listening to the.
That's a lie. How could you listen to a viewpoint that you disagree with unless you're truly funding both sides of whatever issue, Mr. Gates? See, he's letting his true colors be known very subtly. He's a very subtle, worm-like creature with immense gold reserves. Okay, I won't lie. The guy has what we would call cheddar. He has cake stacked. He has a grip. He has rubber bands, man. But he's still a worm. And he still promotes death. Oh, what happened here? My bad.
The people they already share common views with. So,
but you've basked in this freedom, and suddenly we're having to think about, well, is it censorship? Somehow people are going to have to combat, specifically, prevent some of this fake news and the rest of it.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true. I'll stop him right there. I love these poses. I always stop at. Hey. I want you to know that these poses, he's I'm sorry, I can't even look at it without laughing. The only reason why news is important, ask the guys at GM right now, the CEOs and the plant managers and the production line supervisors, ask them, why is news so doggone important? Because if these slaves get in their minds to strike, oh smack, now my personal investments, now my talismans are caught up in it. Now I'm in jeopardy of losing this good gravy ass paying job and have to go down there and just be a regular peasant like everyone else. This is why news is so important, and this is why these guys will do whatever it takes to ensure that you stay in a state of confusion, a state of denial, but most importantly, a state of productivity, ensuring that their dollars is being made. You're nothing more than a commodity because you refuse to stand up for your humanity.
True, along with this idea that anybody can publish, which is an overwhelmingly good thing. It's not.
See, he just said this show's a good thing. TPIMSR Live's a good thing. Anybody can publish. And we need to know that you guys, this show is about you.
Not just a few, press barons controlling what we read now. Along with that freedom has come this idea that there is a lot of incorrect information out there.
Brother Al, peace and power, unity and respect. Welcome to the show. Liberation. Freedom. This guy wouldn't know about freedom. Because the only thing that makes him free, the only reason why his little face is on this show right now, on that video, on that show right then, was because of his access to talismans. His access to the magical dollars. You guys really think this is such a game, man? But you do realize this man could walk up to any person in the world and you had words with them and you're like, you know what, Bill Gates, I think you're a chicken neck chump. You call him that for whatever reason. You know that he can make a couple phone calls and have one or two things happen to you. One, economically devastate you. Two, liberate your ass from life. Meaning you're gone, you're pieced out, you're off, you're 6 feet deep. But there also is a third potential. He could put you on. He could plug you into the system. He could make all your dreams come true. See, this is the duality. This is the paradox. He could juice your people with poison, or he could feed your people with knowledge so that they could be self-sufficient. He chooses the first. And anybody with their hands out getting something from the Bill Gates Foundation, I almost guarantee your birth rates are going to look like that. This is right when you start fucking around with the foundation. This is where you realize, oh my God, we're dying. Because that's what it's about. Now let's continue.
And so the idea of who do we trust? Do we see who our friends trust? Thinking of it all as credible as what we used to read in the newspaper, that's not working.
Now, what about Donald Trump? I mean, you've met him, you know him. I don't know whether you knew him before, but he does not seem to be as favorably disposed to overseas aid as Mr. Obama was.
Well, the biggest increase in U.S. aid took place under President Bush. We had a big increase because the HIV.
He's not going to even talk about Obama, for real. He's just going to jump. You know, the dude asked him about a comparison between Obama and Trump. He jumps to Bush mentions Obama basically just keeping status quo, and then he mentions Trump. Let's continue.
Medicines got out, huge initiative, malaria. Obama maintained those levels, and I'm hopeful the new administration will do the same. They're new. It's a chance to have them go out to Africa, see what's going on. In our system, the
oh yes. He always wants somebody to kill him. This big open mouth fool over here. He always wants to send somebody to kill him. See what's going on? See how we're messing these girls up? See how we're basically chemically castrating the dudes? This is what it's about, yeah. Yes, he makes funny faces, but he makes killer moves in reality. Let's continue.
Congress has the final say on the budget, and a lot of them have been over to Africa, and so I'm fairly confident that.
I wonder, and this is just we'll go back to younger pictures of him, hopefully, eventually at some point. Well, he's awfully clean shaven for an older guy. You think he'll have some sort of stubbles? I wonder if no, that couldn't be real. But if he's more like Ellen DeGeneres than we think.
That we won't see a big budget increase, although in the beginning, this sort of idea of America first meant that once again, we had to go and say, even though it's far away, that is helping humanity. It helps us see any pandemic diseases early and stop it there before it gets to us.
You see what he just said? He's talking about Kemet. It's easier for them to see any pandemic diseases over there before it gets over here. In other words, it's easier for us to take all of our biological agents, CIA, and instead of testing them on American citizens, we can test them on these brown folks over here. And then when it becomes out of hand, becomes an epidemic, we can tamp it out and looks like the hero. Let's continue.
A lot of different benefits that once people spend time on it, I think they understand why it's a priority.
Yes, to exterminate black folks. And don't forget, Latinos, you may think that you're immune, but you're slated for deletion as well. And on that, he's firm-lipped. I'm just breaking down the codes for you guys, what these two cats are really talking about. It's about your demise, yo. It's about your total submission. We want to talk about submitting. You all submit right now to the economic system. Call me a lie. I dare anybody. Call me a damn lie. We submit to the economic system every day. We wake up, we tie up our boots, we go off to work. We submit to the economic system every time we write out that income check or income tax payment to the IRS. We submit to the economic system every time we go down there to the doggone grocery store and pay for a gallon of milk. So before anyone thinks, oh my God, man, why is he going on about Bill Gates? That shit's irrelevant. It's not irrelevant. They don't have to use this, yeah. They don't have to use that. They can use poison just as effectively. Let's continue.
Talk was cuts of perhaps 25% in the budget.
That's right.
Do you think has gone away or not?
I think that there's no chance it'll be that severe. But as usual, reminding people, why they should feel good about these things. In every country, that's critical.
Except for the countries we're debasing and polluting and infecting. They shouldn't feel good about shit unless we sell them the feel-good pill.
Wish more people could go and see it. Then we wouldn't have this issue at all.
Well, why don't you take Mr. Trump? I mean, I'm sure he'd love to go.
Well, at some point that may make sense. It would be great. A lot of senators and congressmen have gone with either myself or my wife, and they come away quite changed.
Have you actually
Now,
spoken?
what code is that? They come away correct change. You guys better watch that movie Manchurian Candidate. Now you probably understand why our representatives and senators are making such goofy laws up. They come away quite changed.
To President Trump? I think you met him.
That's right. I had a long meeting with him after he was elected. That was the.
Did any of you other citizens get a meeting with Donald Trump when he was elected president? Anybody else in the chat room, could you please raise your hand if you got a meeting with Donald Trump? Because last time I checked, he wasn't an elected politician or nothing. I just wanted to cement that in your minds. You ain't shit. Not by my standards. Not by my standards. I love you all. I think you guys are fucking awesome, but these are words you have to hear. Y'all ain't shit by their standards. You can't pick up the phone and make stock moves. You can't talk to world leaders once they are elected. Your opinion absolutely means shit to them. And it's getting to the point they don't even want you to voice your opinions on the open internet airways. Now let that sink in. Beautiful people.
The first time we met. Then last month in the White House, I had another good meeting with him. And so.
See, he had a return visit. He must not have grabbed him by the pussy. Oop, did I just say Bill Gates might have a pussy?
Meeting?
Oh, yeah. Sharing my views about where research can go, whether it's education or energy or health, the importance of foreign aid. I get out there on the front lines. I get to see some things. And so.
You found him responsive?
Yeah, I think he's learning. And on a lot of issues, he's quite pragmatic. And, his team is getting up to speed. People like Secretary Tillerson are
not with Trump no more.
Are very smart people. Secretary Madison.
Not with Trump no more.
And so I think the uncertainty about the policies
will continue on into the future because people are still uncertain about the Trump administration and their moves. You would think that he would be better in the know. You think he would, but he's not. Because the people who run, the people he submit to, know that he ain't shit either. He is truly just one of us. God made men and women. Men and women made billionaires. Men and women make millionaires. Men and women make kings and queens.
Down, a year from now, we'll have a clear view, and I hope to have influenced that in a positive way.
I detect nothing has undermined your optimism.
No, whenever you have a new team elected, the idea of, okay, they're going to do some things you're going to like, some things you're not going to like, that's always there. We had that in the U.S., and, it's a chance to explain issues like aid and why I think it's worth keeping as a priority.
You have
AIDS to his foundation, because don't forget, a lot of this foreign aid gets funneled through his corporation or his foundation, and it might get divvied out to the people in these nations. But only people who play ball with the corporations gets the damn money. This is how colonization works. This is how boule people and so-called sellout people truly operate. They get paid, dude. They don't do it just out of the kindness of their fucking hearts. They get paid. And that's what our foreign aid, that's what your tax dollar is going to do, is going towards the subversion and suppression of third world people. Great fucking job, citizens. And then you wonder why, when our spiritual karma deck comes back, why shit's getting whacked. So we got to understand. We got to understand that just like children who are being raised by Adolf Hitler and Tokyo Rose. That's my mom. Tokyo Rose's mom. Dad is Adolf Hitler. and the American citizenry is the children. What type of liberty, freedom, racist people would they be raising? Because they will be viewing their rights is to oppress people. If you don't allow them to oppress people, then they will feel that they're being oppressed. That's the kicker. That's what we're up against. Let's continue.
Being worried about whether the British will resile from the 0.7%. Have you got any reassurance that they won't?
Well, it's certainly up to the parties and the voters. The key thing that I bring to the discussion is simply that I've had a chance to see how impactful it is. And so as they weigh their budget priorities, they should know that that aid is having a phenomenal effect, whether
of continuing colonialism, so that when you go down there to these countries as a wealthy tourist, then everything's already provided. The people are already in line. They already know to bow down, and you're just a master, just like the rest of them. And that is a tremendous benefit to whom? To humanity or to the oppression crowd?
it's malaria, neglected diseases, overall childhood death. Our foundation has ended up.
Did you hear what he said? Child to death, not child to old folks. See, this is these words I want y'all to hear. Our foundation really focused on child to death issues. Now, to common person, you think, oh yeah, they're thinking from cradle, to grave, like old. No, they're like, how quickly can we get this baby from the womb into the grave? 4, 5, 10 years? Really don't want to go 30, 50 years. They're not giving these people life extension technology. They're giving life reduction technology. And then those bodies are used in basically concoctions to inject rich, wealthy people in the West and free them of disease. We have already been told melanin is one of the most valuable resources in the whole universe. And they're going to make you try to feel like you should be sad for having it.
Partnering with DFID to go out and keep improving those programs.
Did you hear what he said? Keep improving those problems. This is that Freudian slip. Yeah, hold on. Where we at? I want you guys to hear this. Or I'm just going back 9 seconds. Now listen. Hold on. Here we go.
Overall childhood death. Our foundation has ended up partnering with DFID to go out and keep improving those programs.
Keep improving those programs. Like I said, they let you know what they're all about. Tiny, welcome to the show. I think that's your name, Tiny. Welcome to the show. But yeah, they keep letting you know what they're about. No, we keep wanting to think, no, they're about something different. Now, let's look at this story right here before we go. Yeah. Ellen DeGeneres. Judge Joe has spoken at great lengths about this lady on past interviews on this show. How her ratings basically suck. And they keep on promoting her because she represents an agenda. Now, I want you guys to see what this lady's about. So you understand, man. When I talk about homosexuality and stuff like that, I'm doing it because we're free and we still can. But if I had to rely going on her show to say what I have to say, I wouldn't get no airplay. Now check this out. Hold on. In response to being photographed with friend George W. Bush, she's friends with George W. Bush. They both have a lot in common. They both like drinking whiskey and eating pussy. Anyhow, let's go down here to the real deal. I saw it earlier. Okay, right here. DeGeneres reportedly banned Vaughn, and they're talking about this guy, Vince Vaughn. All right. 48. That's how old he is. I don't understand why they need to put dude's age in there. From appearing on her show while he was promoting his 2011 comedy, The Dilemma. Because the trailer shows Vaughn's character. Not Vaughn, but just the character he's supposed to be playing. Remember, this is all jokes, right? Saying electric cars are gay. I meant not homosexual, but my parents are, I don't know, chaperoning the dance gay. I don't know what I'm saying, or he's saying rather. He says electric cars are gay. Boom, he's banned. This is what they are scared of. This is what they are scared of. Check this out. You think the black female's immune from this? Kim Burrell, the gospel singer, 54, was set to appear on the Ellen DeGeneres show alongside Pharrell to promote their song promote their song Hidden Figures. But you know what? DeGeneres said hell to the nah. But DeGeneres banned her from appearing after she made homophobic comments in the video. So you better keep your fat mouth shut, sister. That's what Ellen DeGeneres would say. You better keep your fat mouth shut, sister. Because you say any anti-gay shit, you don't get no play. You ever keep your redhead, flat jaw mouth shut, get no play, even though she's a lesbian. You better get your crooked nose, receding hairline ass shutting it up, or else you get no play. If there was a black man that had a show and did that, for one, he probably wouldn't have very many. Who the hell's that? Caitlyn Jenner. And look at the numbers they choose to put. Caitlyn Jenner, or who's this? DeGeneres reportedly banned Jenner 69. Jenner banned Jenner 69. That's the name they chose. Not Caitlyn, not Bruce. Because apparently if you say Bruce Jenner, that's hate speech against dude here. That's a dude, yeah. Even though he had some sort of nose job, some sort of Adam apple, or at least his hair or wig is covering his Adam's apple. That's a dude with beans and franks. Anyhow, in other words, if you appear to be a traitor to the gay community, because Jenner here, I believe, is a conservative, which he espouses some common sense points, and I guess a lot of the liberals find that intolerable. So even though he's willing to get fake boobs and be sodomized for the cause, he's not willing to toe the total line. He still espouses conservative values. But this is what people are talking about when you look at the gay agenda. These people have an agenda, and they put together a thing that they're supportive of one another. They don't give a shit that Ellen DeGeneres ratings suck. They don't care. They're still going to put her number one. They don't give a flying rat's ass. Is Rachel Maddow ratings used to tank for years, for decades, just tank. They know if they put this chick out long enough, people will just, from maybe boredom with other news, check them out. But all that gay stuff and all this money stuff is really here to
child to death. Our foundation has ended up partnering with DFID to go out and keep improving those problems.
Keep improving those problems. That's what it's all about, y'all. And once again, young people, if you want to be rich, and I tell you this because I don't want you to have to pay good money and read this information out of a book. I'll just tell you right now for free. If you want to be rich, all you have to do is look at the 10 commandments and break each and every one of them. You'll be wealthy. You'll also be in pain and sorrow, probably end up in jail. But if you're not in jail, if somehow you're smart enough to avoid all the pitfalls, you're going to be a really, really wealthy, sad individual. Bill Gates knows deep down nobody likes him. He knows deep down he's only surrounded by sycophants and people wanting to get some of his talismans, some of his money, some of his magic. And that would have to be a truly sad state to be in, that people are genuinely around you, not because they sincerely find you interesting or somewhat cool. No, they're just around you because you got deep fucking pockets and they're just like fucking little piranhas and they'll eat anything you throw at them. Just as long as you throw a couple of bucks in the mix too. So yet again, hopefully I gave you all something to think about today, something to reflect upon. Because I went into meditation, and then when I came out this morning, I hesitated with going right into the show. I had to do some running and stuff. But then when I came back, it just hit me. This is a show I should have had at 8 o'clock this morning. I know many of the brothers and sisters are hard at work, doing what they have to do to get the resources that they need. Like I said, and I want this to be the last thing you remember, they don't have to use this. All they have to do is use this. What's going on here? Oh, I don't know what's going on. But this will conclude TPIM SR Live. As always, I ask you to live your life of integrity without hate, envy, or greed. Brothers and sisters, please try to be kinder to each other. Peace, power, love, respect, unity, and dignity, and liberation. I'm out.